Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Harriet and our special guest, Dewayne Freeman. Pastor Dewayne Freeman, how are you?
I'm doing outstanding, Doc. I'm doing outstanding here. How
Oh,
about
so
yourself?
good. I am wonderful, and I'm just so honored, and I appreciate that you being our guest here today on Conversations with Dr. Harriet.
It's an honor to be on here with you. I mean, I feel like I'm in the big league now. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you. But for the couple people who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm an assistant pastor at Spirit of Faith Christian Center. I'm one of the lead pastors at our Baltimore location in Baltimore, Maryland, where Pastor Mike Freeman, we have three locations, but we're one ministry, but we just have three locations. And God's been doing great things. I've been married 36 years, and to the lovely Angel Lisa Freeman, everybody call her Lisa. And so we've been married for 36 years and having fun at it. And so, I mean, all I do is really want to assist my man of God to push his vision, to make his vision come to pass for him. And I know that that's one of the assignments that I had in this earth realm.
That's right. And, I always admired how you and Lisa just really stood beside your pastor, Pastor Mike Freeman, and Pastor Dee Dee Freeman. And you guys are always have been so faithful. And I really believe that it is your time. So I'm excited about everything that's happening in your life as well right now.
Yeah, and it's wild because it always confirmed that the Bible is so true. The Bible talks about how a faithful man will abound with blessings. You don't have to make anything happen. All you got to do is discover what God's already decided and then start to carry that out. Be determined to carry that out. And you carry that out, I'm telling you, you'll walk into what God has already prearranged for us to have.
That is so good. I love that. Just being faithful and being faithful where God planted you. A lot of people feel like, oh, no, I need to be the pastor.
Yeah, yeah.
But God can bless you, where you're at, and he'll even take you further just by your faithfulness. I love that about you and your gorgeous wife. Now, I want to talk about, before we get started, actually, our topic today is the 4 S's of a committed leader. But before we do so, I want to talk about some of your other books that you have out. I have a few of them in my in my possession. Wisdom in Your Pocket for Leaders. Make sure they see that one. Integrity Below the Belt. I think all ministers need to see that one. And of course, the 4 S's of a Committed Leader. And all mine are autographed copies, by the way. So tell us a little bit about your books that you have out.
Yeah, it's something because I never even thought about writing a book. I never even that wasn't something that was in my mind to do. It was just something that God placed in my heart to be able to lead some principles for people who really want to, because everybody's a leader. They just hadn't discovered the leader that's on the inside of them.
Wow, that's
And
good.
so God told me to write some books, and he said, I want you to do in what I call like principles. There's certain principles, because Jesus was a principle-driven person. And the good thing about principles will work for anybody, anywhere, at any time. Principles don't have a respect of person. What it does for one, it'll do for another. And so I wrote this book, The 4 S's of a Committed Leader, and then Wisdom in Your Pockets for Leaders. But then God was like, go ahead and talk about integrity below the belt, because there are a lot of leaders that have integrity above the belt. They just don't have any integrity below the belt. And so I wanted to deal with that. And then I wrote this book. It's called Leaders. They listen, they learn, and they lead so they can lift the people. And I'm telling you, them books have blessed so many people in the body of Christ and even outside the body of Christ.
That's right. Even in the corporate world, they could benefit from any of these books, especially on leadership. Absolutely. And even the integrity below the belt.
Oh, yeah.
They can benefit from that as well.
I had one lady from New Orleans. I think she was 60. She told me she was 65 years old. She said, I read this book and I wish this book was in every junior high school. And then she said this at the end. She said, And after I read it, I ain't giving nobody nothing no more. And I was like, what was you doing?
Before the 60, and she's 60, so what were you doing up until 59 and a half, right? That's good. I'm going to share that definitely with my single son. Absolutely. And where can they find your books?
They can go on Dewayne Freeman's ministry.com. That's DEWAYNE Freeman.com, ministry.com, and they can pick up the book. And then they can go on Amazon. Amazon has it. But Dewayne Freeman's ministry.com is the better place to get it.
Okay, sounds good. Now, let's get into our topic today, the 4 S's of a committed leader. So we're going to start off with the first S.
Yeah, it's something because, Doc, when I first started this, it came out of because I was looking at a lot of leaders, and you mentioned this something at the very beginning. You said that there are a lot of people that want to be the pastor and they don't want to help the pastor, you know?
Right.
And I started looking at that, and I found out that a lot of leaders, they want to get bigger, but they don't want to get better.
Wow.
You know, they want to get bigger, but they don't want to get better.
Wow.
You know, they want to look good in the public, but in private, their private life is a mess. And, and that leaves with you having charisma, but no character.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted people to get better on the inside. And if you get better on the inside, people will demand that you get bigger on the outside. People would demand it, you know. And so when I was writing these 4 S's, it came out to be C right. C right is the first one. It's the first one because I saw this interview with this guy that was with Dr. King when Dr. King was walking the face of the earth. And he said if he would have known or seen the potential that Dr. King really had, there were certain things he never would have done. It was almost like he wished he could go back and redo it because he didn't know how great this man was going to be. And the Spirit of God spoke to me right there. And he said this, I never want you to have that testimony. He said, I want you to be able to see who I connect you with at the time you are walking with them so you can make the better decisions. And so that's what made me, the first principle was see right. You got to see right. You know, I heard one person say, eyes that look are common, but eyes that see are rare. Because how you see a person is very, very important. You know, Doc, perception is everything.
Absolutely.
Because your perception is reality to you. It may not be true, it may not be real, but your perception is reality to you. Have you ever had your perception to fool you one time?
Absolutely. Like looking at that little mirror at the circus, right?
I mean, because perception is everything. And God told me that he said, how you see a person or how you perceive a person will determine how you will receive from that person.
That's good.
Perception is everything. How you perceive a person will determine how you receive from that person. So you got to see right. You know, you can be in the right place in front of the right person, but have the wrong perception and can't even receive from the person that you're standing in front of.
Wow, that's good.
You know, when I read the Bible, a lot of times I like to put myself there. I like to, you know, just like to walk with the whole matter. And so I was sitting at the well one day with Jesus. And, you know, it was at noontime because Jesus told the disciples, hey, y'all go get something to eat. And I was really amazed that all the disciples went and nobody stayed with Jesus because I couldn't see my pastor telling people to leave and he stand and no personal assistant would stay with him. But all them left, so I decided to stay with Jesus. And while we were sitting on the well, I seen this girl coming to the well. It was at noontime, and I knew that the women came early in the morning. Well, I'm looking at this girl bringing this pot, and she's coming And I could tell the girl had an attitude. And for the life of me, I didn't think Jesus saw what I saw. Because Jesus asked this girl a question when she got there. Jesus said, give me something to drink. I say to myself, this ain't going to go right, because if I was the girl, I see you sitting on the well before I got there. And when I get there, you going to ask me to give you something to drink? If you wanted something to drink, why you ain't get the water yourself? And boy, all of a sudden, I knew something wasn't right, because this girl said, how is it that you, a Jew, ask me for something to drink? A woman that is a Samaritan. Man, for the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritan. I said to myself, I told you that girl had an attitude, and you up there asking her to give you something to drink. But watch this. She didn't recognize who was in front of her. Her perception about Jesus was he was a Jew, she was a Samaritan, and we have no dealings with you.
Right.
And here goes Jesus. Jesus was smooth with it too, you know. Jesus said, girl, if you'd have known who is this gift of God that is before you right now, you would be asking me to give you something to drink. I said,
That's right.
Man, this boy Jesus is off the chain. She was used to men taken from her. She wasn't used to a man like this.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Jesus started ministering to her. And when Jesus started ministering to her, Jesus said, girl, let me tell you something. I'll give you some water. And this water that I give you, you will never thirst again. Neither will you have to come back and draw. And she was like, I have never met a man like that. Jesus was loving up on the girl. And then I saw the girl's perception change. Right. And I could tell, because your language will always locate you. The girl said this, sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Notice her perception changed from you being a Jew, now it's a prophet. Because Jesus asked her one question, go get your husband. She said, I don't have none. He said, that's right, you done had 4, and the one you shacking with, the one you living with right now is not your husband. And all of a sudden, the girl's perception changed, and look what she was able to do. She was able to go back into her town and tell people, hey, come see a man, because she was able to see right.
That's good. That is so good. Wow, that's good. I love that. I love that. I love the analogy.
That's why
I love it.
And that's why you gotta, the people that you with sometimes, your close people, you gotta stop sometimes and ask them this question. Who do you see me as? How do you see me? Because people's perception change. That's what Jesus would do to his disciples at times. He would say, who do men say that I am? They say, some say this, some say that, some say that. And then he said this question, well, who do you say that I am? Because you can let other people's voices change your perception about the one you with.
Wow, that's good. And even so, I love that, we need to be honest and ask people to be honest with us, and just let us know, because how people see you may not be really how you want to be seen. You don't want to come off arrogant, or you don't want to come off, judgmental. But you should have friends in your life that you can ask, or coworkers or leaders, other leaders, and then, take that honesty, from them and change your perception. I love that.
And it's wild. A lot of people don't even get that principle right there. And they don't even know that outside forces are really designed by Satan to put your eyes out. You know, the first thing that the enemy did when they captured Samson, they put his eyes out. Right. Because Satan don't want you to, the connections that God bring into your life, Satan don't want you to see them right, because he knows if you see right, you're going to receive right. And your future actions is going to be dictated by how you perceive a person.
That is so good. And it's so important. I love that. And to be an effective leader, you have to be able to take that constructive criticism and make a change. Absolutely. So our next one is serve right.
Submit right. Submit right.
Oh, submit right. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
submit
we
right
mentioned one. So submit right is the second one.
is the second one, because when you see right, it will always cause you to submit right. You know, I really got that from John the Baptist. John was walking down the road one day, and me and Jesus were coming down the other way, and we were coming towards each other, you know. And all of a sudden, me and Jesus heard John tell his boys, "Behold, look, y'all, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sins of the world." John saw something that others didn't see. He saw a man, Jesus, but he said, no, that's the Lamb, which taketh away the sins of the world. And this what got my attention a couple of chapters later, because I think when John said that, that was in John chapter 1, verse 29. And in John chapter number 3, verse number 30, this is what John said, because he was able to see right. He said, I must decrease so he can increase.
That's good.
Because when you see right, it will cause you to submit right. And submission now is you are retiring from a position that you had, and you're getting under the commands of another leader.
That is really good.
And the wild thing about it, Doc, you are the one that has to nobody can make you submit. You got to submit. God won't make you submit. You got to humble yourself even under the mighty hand of God. You got to recognize what God is doing, and know that you are equal. You're on the same love level, but God has positions that he has given people, different assignments that he has given people, so there can be some kind of order. So now you got to learn that and then submit. And submission doesn't mean you lose your identity. Submission is really saying you get ready to improve your identity.
Oh, I love that. That's where I think a lot of leaders miss that. I'm the boss. Why am I submitting? I'm the boss. No, that's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Right.
And the wild thing about it, I looked at the life of Jesus. Jesus, the Son of the living God, right? At 12 years old, he knew what his assignment was. And then one day, it kind of threw me off, because Jesus' whole family, they were in a particular place, and all of a sudden, everybody started going back home. So I'm riding in the thing with Mary and them, and Mary turns around and asks, her husband says, "Where's Jesus?" And they was like, "Well, I think he's in the back with them." So everybody, we stopped the convoy, and everybody got out. We looking for Jesus. Now this 3 days down the road. This it's like all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden, here they go. He ain't with us. Man, we had to turn the thing around. We went back, and they saw Jesus sitting in the temple with some people. I mean, man, them folks, they was astonished at Jesus' understanding. I mean, Jesus knew who he was early, right?
Early on.
All of a sudden, Jesus' mother said, "Well, do you know how much we've been worrying about you and looking for you?" And Jesus said this, I was about my Father's business. Man, that mother said, "Okay, I know you about your Father's business, but I tell you one thing, you better bring your little self on and come with us." Jesus was 12 years old, Doc. Watch this. And the Bible said he submitted to them.
All right.
He's 12 years old. We didn't hear from Jesus no more until he was 30 years old.
Wow.
How many people know what God has called them to do, but God called them to submit to somebody, and they really want to do their thing now? And Jesus was 12, and we didn't hear no more from Jesus until he was 30 years old.
Wow. Yeah. How many of us would wait? I know better than what God knows. He wants me out there. He wants me to be the pastor. He wants me to be the leader.
Yeah.
That's right. Wow, that's good.
And look at it. And then when he started the ministry, God tells him, "Okay, you go to John the Baptist and let him baptize you." John was like, ho, 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 ho. Jesus said, no, man, I gotta follow the leading of the Holy Spirit. And Jesus submitted to John. John baptized him. And when he comes up, he heard this voice from his father. This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. And most people don't get a revelation of submission because they don't know submission is a position that God will place you in to receive power. I don't know if you play,
Wow.
You know anything about baseball, Doc?
I do. I love baseball.
Oh, you do?
One of my favorite sports.
I'm putting you to a test right now. I'm putting you to a test. Have you ever seen you know what a back catcher is, right?
Right.
When the back catcher stands up and put his hands out like this, and the pitcher is pitching, what is he saying?
He is walking that.
Okay, all right. Now, let me ask you this.
He's afraid of that hitter. Yes.
Is he going to throw any 100 miles per hour fastballs?
No, he's just going into that glove.
He's going to throw 4 small pitches. But the minute the back catcher, the next batter get up and the back catcher gets down into that squatted position, he gets down into that submitted position, we are going to see 100-mile-per-hour fastball. You will never see any power until the back catcher submits.
Wow, that is good. Never thought of it like that.
And that's why some people are not seeing the power of God flow through their life because they're not submitted to the one that they were supposed to be submitted to.
That is so good. All right, I want to make sure we have 9 minutes left. So I want to make sure we get to these next ones. So the next one is serve right.
Serve right. Serve right. You know, everyone and everyone, Dr. King said this one time. He said, everyone won't be famous, but everyone can be great. And the reason why he said that, he said, because everyone can serve. And I got from that serving is the pathway to greatness. Because Jesus told his disciples one time over there in Matthew chapter number 20, he told his disciples this. He said, whoever is going to be chief among you, let him be the servant. So serving now is the bridge. Serving is the bridge that would allow you to leave your self-centered world and enter into a world of another and release your God-given gift into their life.
I love that. You know, people don't realize that serving is ministry. You know, they think, oh, I have to be in front of the church, or I have to, be over the ministry. I have to be this or that. Whenever just simple service, God loves that even more.
And it releases when you see right, you submit right, and you start serving right. Because you serving from a submitted position, you done lost you're not thinking about you, you're thinking about others. There's a power that is released. And married people, married couples that are listening, married couples got to get a hold of this, because if you want a great marriage, it starts with serving. Serving is the pathway to greatness. You got to get you off your mind and leave your self-centered world, cross that bridge to serving, and serve your gift to your spouse. And you start doing that, I'm telling you, your relationship will increase.
Absolutely. That is so. Get out of ourselves in every area, especially marriage. You are absolutely right. Absolutely. And then the last one is so right.
So right. So right. Man.
S-O-W. So right.
S-O-W. Because
which that is so right. That is the S-O right too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because when you so right, you are what you're saying, that I'm all in. See, the reason why I use that so right, because where man's treasure is, that's where his heart is also.
Yes.
So now when I see right, I submit right, I serve right. Now I know what I'm pushing. Watch this. I want it to increase. See, and it's going to take finances to make that happen. That's why, like, when people see what you're doing, and then they submit to what you are doing, right? And then they serve with what you are doing, they're going to sow into what you are doing, because they want you to do that in a bigger magnitude.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Whatever you believe in, you are willing to invest in.
That's good. That is so true.
And
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, when you use these principles, I'm talking about in every area, you use them in your marriage. I'm telling you, I don't understand how a wife got to go to a husband and tell her husband, loan me some money.
Oh man, I hear it all the time.
Like
I don't get that.
I don't get that, because when you're really seeing right, submitting right, serving right, you're gonna sow right. What's yours becomes theirs, and what's theirs become yours. It's not it's not a me thing. It becomes a we thing when you see right, submit right, serve right, and sow right.
I love that. And that goes again, not only for leaders, but for marriages and, even in the athletic world for coaching and for people being coached. It really works in all aspects of your life. I love that. So let's put all this together. Let's put all the 4 S's together and give us a last word going out.
It's amazing, because when you do these 4 things, when you're connected with somebody, others will see it. Others will see it. I remember when Naomi, you got Ruth and you got Lady O, the sister, and Naomi was telling them to leave and go back. And because Ruth was able to see right, she said, no, where you go, I go. Where your God, my God. What she did, she submitted right and she served right. And Boaz saw that. That was one of the things that got his attention, because Boaz told her, hey, girl, let me tell you something. There's a reputation going around that you have served that your mother-in-law better than 7 sons that she had gave birth to, because your serving is going to get the attention. And notice what happened. Boaz was willing to sow into that. Wow. Some of y'all gonna find your Boaz by doing these 4 principles.
Oh, you know what? You're gonna have women running to buy this book now. Looking for that Boaz. Is that how I get my Boaz? Let me look at this. That's good though. It really is. If you're thinking about everything that you've said, that we can use this in every area of our life. And that service part, I think, is so important. And I know even during the Martin Luther King holiday, it's always a service day that we add into that, and people, it's a time that all of us can serve, all of us can sow. We may not be able to finance the entire vision, but all of us do our part. We can help finance the vision. I love that.
And but one of the keys that I believe, when you see right, submit right, and you start serving right, there's a oneness that takes place. It's no longer a me thing, it becomes a we thing. And so you gotta sow into it, because you treating that like it's your very own.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. Wow, our time has flown by. This has been so good. I love it. I love all your analogies and your stories. We were at a church a few weeks ago, and you even talked about wisdom. So you're going to have to come back. Will you come back again? I would love for you to just share so much of your knowledge. And like I said, you do amazing topic on wisdom as well. So hopefully you'll come back and see us again.
Yeah, Doc. I just got one request, is that you call me and I'll come.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we have on the ticker, your website is www.DewayneFreemanMinistries.com. So make sure that you go to the website and order those books. And also, again, if you're having a conference, he is definitely a person that you want to ask to speak at your conference. He does an amazing job, and you will thoroughly enjoy it. Your people will thoroughly enjoy him. So again, thank you so much. We're looking forward to getting to Baltimore and coming to see you when you all start back services again. And God bless you, and God bless your beautiful wife, Lisa. She's actually going to be on our Ladies Chit Chat next month as well. So
Oh, that's going to be
Looking
awesome.
forward to it. Absolutely. So thank you again so much. I appreciate you being here on Conversations with Dr. Harriet and our special guest, Pastor Dewayne Freeman. Thank you again.
Thank you, Doc.
All right, everybody, see you next time. Bye.